This show is going to be the best. We have extra special guests. Hello, good evening. My name is Susan Mintz, and this show is called Positively Positive. And the reason this show, I'm so excited tonight, I really should have taken a Xanax. The reason that this show is called Positively Positive is because everybody and everything and anything to be on the show as a guest has to be HIV/AIDS relatable. And this can be organizations. This can be personal because you are recently diagnosed or long-term care survivor. Could be because you are the government worker. You are your own foundation. You are a caregiver. You just want to be involved because you've known someone. It doesn't matter. It is the most incredible show. For 40 years, HIV/AIDS has been here. And there's never been one show exclusively talking about HIV and AIDS and keeping it out there. And that's what this show is doing. Streaming out there, screaming it, but telling stories about real people and what they are doing with their lives and how they're handling their lives and the who, what, where, and whys of their life. We are going to get picked up by someone who knows this show should be national because of what we're doing here. So it is an honor. This is an honor to have a show like this, Positively Positive. All things HIV/AIDS relatable and related to. My involvement is extremely personal. My story is extremely personal, and I've documented it, and I've written it into my book, Committed to Love, and another book called And I Held Their Hands with a Hospice Heart. Both books are companion books. They are involving my 25-year marriage to my best friend, the love of my life, who I found out early on in my marriage was bisexual and very promiscuous, extremely handsome. We went through his master's, his doctorate. He's got an amazing practice in Houston, but he was very promiscuous. And when I heard about AIDS in 81, I had to make a choice. And I said to him, Jeffrey, I will love you forever and I will never divorce you. But a sexual relationship is going to have to stop because I know after all the other STDs I'd gotten that I can't get this one. And I knew that God wanted me to stay with this man and love him. And one day he got gravely, gravely ill. And for 2 years, 1992 to 1994, I took my journals and I wrote every day about what we were dealing with. 3 bottles with pneumonia, all the meds, the fevers. I documented it. Years later, it got put into the book. Write your stories, people, because you don't know whose life you're going to be changing, whose life you're going to be impacting, and what you might want to do with it. It's called journaling. Even tonight, when you listen to this, find something in yourself. My life is committed to love. HIV is my ministry, my commission, my world, my life. And whatever door opens, it has to have HIV in it because I am a healthy, happy, loving, wanting to give woman to the community that involves all over the world, HIV and AIDS. So that's me, Committed to Love. And I Held Their Hands with a Hospice Heart. Both books available on Barnes & Noble, or I would suggest Amazon, but I'm partial to that. But you can get them. Go to my website, Susan Mintz. That's SusanMintz.com, and check it all out. The shows are on there. The books are on there, and my bio, pictures about my husband and I. So you know about the show, Positively Positive, and you know about the books. Now, for those of you who watch regularly, you know when the glasses come off. What do I say? Come on in, Lety Gonzalez and Michael Riordan to the studio. you, both of you. Oh, for me, this is a menage, my first one online. This is my first streaming menage. This is why I'm so excited. And you are also the first people to be interviewed on Moi is New Marble Lavender Laptop. Can you imagine a menage on a purple marble lavender laptop? That's way more than even CNN could handle. So
it's a great honor.
that's, I'm so excited. I should have taken a Xanax or two. I am my hair, what I have left on my head is standing up underneath there. I'm so excited. These two remarkable people are from Compass. And then I want to tell you, they will tell you all about what they do and everything. Lety Gonzalez, the lady there with the beautiful blue and the hair and the baby grandparent on the back, and Michael Riordan is they're both from Compass, which is a wonderful organization in, would you say Lake Worth?
Yeah.
Okay. So Lety, I'm going to let you go first because I found your name intriguing. Where did the Lety Gonzalez, I always like to say, since I had no bio on either of you, we play it by ear, but I always like to know where someone was born and then how they got to where they got. And then just a little overview of you. Then I'll be with Michael. Then you'll all talk about Compass and everything that's going on. So Lety Gonzalez, where did you get that name?
Well, my mother gave it to me. It's short for Leticia. My family's from Dominican Republic.
Yeah. Speak up a little. From where?
From Dominican Republic, so it's a Hispanic name.
Yes, it's a beautiful name. And so, where were you born?
I was born in New York, but I was raised here in West Palm.
Oh, so you're a local girl.
Yes.
All right. So that's what we got. We got from New York, but you've been a Florida girl. You've been here for a while.
Yes.
That's wonderful. And what do you do at Compass? Do you have a specific position or thing that you do?
Yes, I'm the marketing coordinator for their development team.
Marketing coordinator. And the reason you'll see me writing or looking down is I take these notes because eventually all my interviews are being put in a book. And it just helps me to be able to make really good notes. So you are the marketing coordinator?
Yes.
For Compass?
Yeah, for Compass.
Yeah.
That sounds very in depth.
Lety's being a little, I'm going to jump in. Lety's being a little modest. She is.
I think she's more on the modest side than aggressive.
Yeah, so she's our marketing super genius. And she doesn't do it just for the development department. Everything that comes out of Compass that you see, all of the beautiful imagery, all of the beautiful stuff. Lety,
so give her a few more labels.
Oh my goodness, Lety, let's go.
I want titles.
She is a taskmaster in a great way, keeps people on track. She runs a great meeting and she's incredibly organized. Everything that the rest of the department is not.
So she is let's say if it was a computer, she's the motherboard, or she's the lap, she's the guts of it, and then everything stems out from a good solid foundation.
What do you think, Lety? Is that accurate?
I appreciate that.
So you're the stability, and everything around you kind of flows because you're grounded. And if you're grounded and you're centric, then everybody around you can do their jobs more effectively.
That's very true.
Wonderful. See, once I have a little bit of you, I feel it. That's what's wonderful is I feel people and I can feel you through here. And I knew by looking at you, Lety, that you were more behind the scenes where Michael is, I think, a little bit more in front of the camera. So Michael, tell me
what you're makeup on tonight. That's the only reason.
Well, you're here for support for her. I want to know where you're from.
I am originally from Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Oh, nice.
Yes, the Plymouth with Plymouth Rock and all of that. And if anybody watching has ever been to Plymouth and went to see the Rock, I deeply apologize for the disappointment. It is one of America's most disappointing landmarks, but there are other things about Plymouth that make it great.
Yeah, the history itself, though. Are you ancestry from there?
No, I'm actually Italian Irish. My last name is Irish, as we were talking about, and I am Italian. My family is from New York on my mother's side. My dad's side is from California.
I was going to say you look like you have some in the cheekbones Italian up there.
I
You,
like hearing that, and so will my mother. Thank
so,
you.
yeah, you do. You look very Italian. So anyway, but the other thing is, so you came on to so yeah. Oh, so you came on to support Lety, but
Mhm.
what do you do there?
So I'm the director of media and communications for
Oh, I
Compass
couldn't have hooked up with better people. Director of media
and
and
communications.
oh, you're wonderful. Oh, you're both. God, what a night! I can't. I'm, I'm taking a couple of Xanax after the. Oh, director of media and communications. Oh, am I going to love speaking before your group and having? Oh, now tell me. He wants to talk about. Tell me about Compass. I mean, we're a lot of people who live here know and have heard about Compass, but I deal with people who are new to the area who don't know the resources we have in Palm Beach County that is amazing. We're probably one of the most, if it wasn't for the funding of the cheap bastards in Tallahassee and Washington, if it wasn't for funding, people would know that Palm Beach County has perhaps the greatest foundation of resources for people with HIV and AIDS. But everybody's fighting for the dollar and the buck. So everybody's gotten into their little compartments to find what they can, the crumbs, while the other ones are eating caviar. So what I want to know is tell our listeners who may not be familiar with Compass or who want to be involved or who need your assistance, give me all of your your things that you do there for people and how you affect the community in Compass's way. Give me Compass's way.
Okay,
Whoever wants to go, Lety.
I'll start because I'm the quiet one.
Just speak up.
I'm gonna start. So I'll start off with our mission. It's our mission to engage, empower, and enrich the lives of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, and those impacted by HIV and AIDS. And we have a lot of programs and services. I mean, to start off, from our youngest folks, we have youth programs, social and support groups. We have mental health for all ages. We have social support groups for even our, how do you say, our mature audience as well. And then for those who are looking to get tested or treated for HIV, we have the resources available in the center too as well. And in the case that you were or have been uh, diagnosed with HIV, we also have case management. So our case management services were able to connect people to any kind of resources for their basic needs.
What
And
what is what
treatment.
is your website?
It is www.compasslgbtq.com.
Compass LGBTQ.com. That's
Yeah.
on the screen. That's what we want to know because this is an informational, we joke around, but we're dealing with people's lives here and you don't play that way. That doesn't work. I mean, I can get your mission statement when I'm writing your stories up in a month or 5 or a month or when I write the stories up on people, I can go to a website like this. I can write up a mission statement. I can do it and don't have to use names necessarily, but I want people who aren't going to I want people now to know all the different things that Compass does and to see it's compasslgbtq.com. That's wonderful. And so what would you say, how long have you been there, Lety?
So I used to volunteer back in 2013, 2014 as an HIV tester and counselor, and also the front desk. But employed, I've been there 2 years, and just doing marketing coordinating and helping with all the fundraising efforts.
Yeah, and the other thing is, what do you must have a few degrees tucked away under that silent but deadly thing there. I mean, they were deadly that way, but you're quiet. Under that demeanor, that shy demeanor. Tell me about how many titles, as far as degrees, you have in school.
I guess The most recent one.
No, back me up, honey. You got a
All the
few.
way to the back. Well, let me start from that one. My master's is in public health, and my concentration is in health promotion and disease prevention. Um,
Is it
Before that,
a bachelor's or a master's?
that's my master's. My bachelor's is in exercise science and health promotion.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then I always had a background in health and health promotion. I've been a yoga instructor, a personal trainer, um, all that. So it all been geared to the same area.
And it all came together in one little Lety package.
Yes.
Because I thought you probably had a few doctoral degrees by now, but
I'm working on it.
yeah, of course you are. There's no way you're not. You are a student, my darling. You love to learn. You love learning. And you love, as I said, you're more behind the scenes, but the type of person, go to Lety, she'll get it done.
That's true.
All right. Am I good with this?
Yes, you can rely
Have you met before? I mean, that's uncanny. That's 100% accurate.
As I said, I feel people. I can feel you both right through here. And when I meet you, it's going to be one big hug. How do you think then, how long have you been there, Michael?
I was hired in March 2017. So coming up, it's 7 years now.
All right.
And we like to say Lety was hired 2 years ago, but she is more experienced with Compass than I am because she was a tester and volunteer all those years ago before I even knew what Compass was.
You were a pastor?
No, no, sorry.
No, not you. Lety, did you say you were a pastor?
No, a tester.
Oh, a tester.
Sorry.
I thought, oh my heaven, now we're dealing with the spiritual end of it all for real. You just tapped into my whole free space there. Or you used up
like, Lety, what are you not telling me?
You used up a couple of memory gig bites there. Oh God, a pastor I got to deal with. All right. So, but did you two become friends immediately?
Yeah, it was pretty immediate in the interview process.
It was a great interview, and you know, when somebody comes along that has what Lety has, and you can see, I mean, you know, we're sitting there and we're talking, and the passion, the thing that tipped it for me was that, you know, she had been involved with Compass, and she's just a great person. And yeah, absolutely, I would agree. Like, I enjoy coming to work because of the team that we work with, and Lety and our other teammates, and everybody in Compass is great, but we have an amazing department, and we're very, very lucky in that way.
I want to come and speak before your groups, different groups, whether it's the youth, whether it's old age, I don't care, it doesn't matter. The other thing is, though, see, I've been involved with this since 81, so I do have you all beat by a bit. And if you do go to my website, you will see my different things I've been. It's always stayed, though, HIV. And my book says everything's HIV in my life, you know, no matter what door opens. So Compass, to me, is a full service organization for anybody, LGBTQ, whatever, because I only grew up, literally, it was a gay and lesbian, and we didn't have any of the GBTQ, or I mean, I'll probably add a few more by the time the world is done. So I didn't grow up with that. So for me still to get used to it, I am now familiar with it. In the last, let's say, decade that you've been around, in general, you're out, I'm sure you're in your 40s, late 30s or 40s. I mean, you're not kids, right?
No.
Yeah, I'm 45.
How old?
45.
Oh my God, you look good. Oof.
Thank you. It's the
who's your doctor? Who's your doctor? All right, 45 is his doctor. All right.
A Vino moisturizer. That's how to do it.
All right. So he's 45 for Michael. How old are you, Lety?
I'm 35.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa. 35 for Lety. Okay. Now, then I've been around longer in it, but I would say in the last decade that you've both been involved with it, how have you seen the stigma involving it, or people willing to get tested, come out, feel comfortable? How has it changed, even in the last few years? I mean, give me your professional opinions on where we've come from.
Lety, take it.
Go, girl.
I honestly think that there's still a big stigma around it. I think everyone still has this preconceived notion that only gay men are affected by it. But right now, one of the highest prevalences is in Black women.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
I think the stigma is still there. I think it's really even hush hush even to come grab a condom. But on the opposite side, people are more comfortable coming out. I mean, a lot more youth are more comfortable, letting their peers know that they're queer in some way. So we are making baby steps, and also what I'm seeing is a lot more commercials on PrEP, like
Yeah.
like just publicly, like out there, and which is like really amazing. So
Yes.
there's definitely some changes.
Well, the only thing which truly bothers me, and I'd love to be able to have a drug company person on, is they make these drugs feel like, some Snickers candy bar. You take these and the whole world's going to shine and everybody's fine. They don't realize that a lot of people can't afford their meds.
Mhm.
They don't have the resources to even know where to go to try to get a ride or something. So for me, these organizations like you, I want more of them because you help people who don't know where to go for anything. You transition them and get them into positions. And so you think that the stigma's gotten better and that people have come out more recently?
I think it's become more easier for lesbian, gay, bisexual individuals. It's harder now for transgender individuals to come out. There's a lot of things in the environment right now that are threatening,
Yes.
people's freedoms, and so there's that.
Where do you think though this all the root comes from though? I've always believed that if it wasn't a sexually transmitted disease, you wouldn't have the stigma and you wouldn't have all these issues. But because we're so anal retentive in this country and so screwed up, that I believe if because it's a sexually transmitted disease and it was predominantly men and it was this and that or drug users, it got such a bad connotation the first 20 years. 25 years that I think you're having to play a lot of catch up now.
I think you're very right in that. I think, when you look at it, and not only was it affecting men, but it was specifically really affecting gay men.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not old enough to understand when this was happening, what was happening. But everything that I've read since, everything that I've seen, there was a moment when this disease came into our lives where there were some people I feel were happy to see it. It wasn't even HIV at the beginning, right? What it was, gay related immune deficiency. I know that there are articles where they even called it gay cancer.
Uh-huh.
And so it was targeted. And then you mentioned, drug users and intravenous drug users. So it was first, people involved in in sex work. And so it's a thing that hit those communities first, and it carried that stigma for years, and it still does. And I agree with Lety. The stigma is still there. As a matter of fact, that's the biggest obstacle that we have when we are trying to engage with communities that tend to have a jaundiced eye towards HIV and AIDS. There are even communities that straight up don't believe it exists. They think that it's made up, and it really is troubling because that stigma is still there.
Yes.
It is something. And it's one of the reasons why at the center, we take everybody's privacy so seriously. We want to create a place where it's easy to come in. I mean, we see people, we'll see people sitting in the parking lot, in their cars for a long time before they finally get the courage to come in. And when they come in, they're going to be greeted by a smiling face. There is no question. It's just, you want to test, no problem, go ahead. You want to meet with somebody, we got you. But we are that place that can help them on every step of the way. If they come in for a free test. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I always compare it to a cruise ship with a lifeboat. You're the lifeboats for people. The cruise ship is sinking, and Compass is a lifeboat that will bring people to a safe place where they can be who they are and not be treated as if they are, like in the old world, it was the lepers in the Bible. That's what it was given that kind of connotation when it first started with the sores, when the lepers, and it was given such a bad rap. And you had the politics involved at that time more than now. I mean, I think now, because you're getting more politicians who might be gay, who are out there, or who are lesbians, and are actors and actresses who are out there more, that's all helping. But I think the first 20, 25 years, even 30 maybe, I don't think since the last maybe 15 years that things have subtly started to change, because society has started to change.
I think you're right. I think that it's easier than it was. But if we're sticking on the stigma issue, there's still a lot out there. And again, it's super compartmentalized in some communities rather than others. Sure. And it's unfortunate, but regardless of what those people believe, if this is something that they are dealing with, or this is something that they suspect might be happening, please come to the center. We have the resources that you need to live a long, productive, healthy life. HIV is no longer a death sentence if you catch it and if you do what you need to do. And it's really not the horror that it used to be in that regard. It's not a million pills every other hour that you have to take. It's one pill. It might be an injection if that's right for you. There are a lot of advances that we've made over the years.
And you have doctors specifically who are involved with Compass, or just how do you refer people if they need doctors?
Lety, why don't you tell them about CAN?
Okay, so we have a partnership with CAN Community Health.
What is it?
CAN Community Health.
Spell that. What is it?
CAN Community Health, CAN. And then they have several locations, but fortunately, one of them is right at our center. And they have doctors on staff. They have their own, not at the center, but they have a pharmacy available where they can even mail, your prescriptions to your office, to, wherever you're at. And they also do STD testing and treatment right there at the center.
So that's who you refer people to, is called CAN Community Health?
Yeah.
That's our main one because it's the most convenient. And also they have a lot of low cost options.
But the doctors are there, the nurses are there, the testing, the meds, what they would need.
So on the day-to-day, there are nurses and nurse practitioners there. There is a doctor that oversees several of the clinics in South Florida. So there are scheduled times when the doctor will be there. But yes, it is a fully functioning health clinic inside the walls of Compass.
That's just the way you put it, fully functioning. What'd you say?
Clinic. Yeah, health clinic inside Compass Community Center.
You see, people are going to be watching this down the road. This won't air probably till May. I mean, we're backed up, and I'm only every other week. But when this airs, do you see how this is going to go and keep spreading out? That you're giving this community and outside of this area, the country, you're talking about resources. You're talking about availability. You're talking about life.
Yeah,
it's wonderful. So it's a fully functioning health
clinic.
Oh, this is wonderful. Because when I write it all up down the road, I want all these little details. Do you find that would somebody have to be HIV positive to go there, or can they just get tested, or are there any people who are not? They just use them as doctors?
Yeah, anyone can come in and get tested. Most of the time we have appointments available same day. And yeah, it's that easy. They just come in and they get an HIV test from us, and they get the rest of their tests with them. And if they need some kind of treatment, they're able to connect them.
Yeah.
But if someone is not HIV positive and they want to use this facility, can they?
So I don't want to go ahead, Lety.
Yeah, I was gonna say they don't have to be HIV positive to use the clinic.
So, and that's, yeah, there's a percentage. So community health is an HIV servicing health organization, and that is their main focus. But there is room for people that are not positive to be at CAN. There are certain, there are numbers and things, but I am not positive, and CAN is my primary care physician, and so we do have that available. And if anybody who is not positive wants to learn about CAN, they can certainly contact us and we'll get them in touch. They actually have a lot of services. Wonderful. And I know that right now it's kind of weird and scary for trans people, but they even have services for transgender people that are not HIV related, that are hormone related, things like that. And so it is the goal of partnering with CAN was to create a place where somebody really could come in and get all of their needs met under the same roof and leave and go on with their lives and not have to worry about going to that doctor 30 miles south and this guy over here. So it really is a great opportunity for people to learn about their status, which is crucial because you can't treat HIV if you don't know that you have it. So they can come in, and it's from that moment all the way to their treatment that we can take care of at Compass.
And so it's an umbrella. You're like an umbrella. Everything fits underneath one nice big round umbrella.
I think that's a great way to think of it.
Aren't we doing well for never having met each other? And here we are streaming. Haven't we done extremely well so far?
You had me with the big glasses. I was like, this is going to be a good time. So, yeah.
Yeah, I always say, Richard, if you know any good drag shows or any places that need a judge, I would definitely, because I'm as straight as the arrow could be, but when you're married to the most handsome man in the world who's very promiscuous and you live around the corner from the best gay bars in downtown Houston, and most of your friends are gay, and you have Liza Minnelli at 4:00 in the morning sitting in your living room and you're making her brownies and she's stoned out of her mind, literally. She takes off her wig and it's a man. Honey, I've been in the bathrooms with men. I didn't care if you had a penis. I don't care if you had breasts. When you got to dance, you got to dance. When you got to pee, you got to pee. And the life I've led, I'm so bored with conventional because I've never had. I said one time, I haven't been in a relationship in 30 years. I don't want one because if a conventional man ever walked through my door with a sign that said, I'm conventional, I wouldn't know what to do with them. I would make the greatest partner for a really handsome, worldly traveled who wants a great looking woman on his arm who lets him do what he wants as long as he can take care of me. It's just wonderful. So if you know any good drag shows and everything, or you need a judge for something, I'm here.
So we actually have the Miss Palm Beach Pride pageant coming up next Monday, but next year we'll need judges. We do have the judges set. I wish that we had this a couple of weeks ago, but consider yourself on deck for next year.
Well, definitely, sweetheart. I got the.
You gotta wear the flare. You
haven't even begun to see what flare is. I'm from the 60s, 70s, 80s. I'm from all these generations. I grew up with the Beatles, and I grew up with Elvis Presley and the hard metal, and all of it. All of it. So I'm with Thelma Houston and Donna Summers. We dance till dawn. So I'm so thrilled. This is so good. Tell me about the medications. What's the number one medication you think, or are there so many out there now that you don't think about it?
For prevention or for treatment?
Yeah, well, prevention's PrEP. Is that pretty much exclusive?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lety.
No, you go ahead.
We really, if you ever want to do this with anybody with us again, we should really get our director of HIV prevention in here as well, because he can answer more of those technical questions. But I would say this, I think they're probably the most asked about, the most interesting and fascinating drug on the market right now are the PrEP drugs, the drugs that are designed to protect people who are not positive from getting the disease, even if they are sexually active. Now, there are other things that can happen, of course, but I mean, it doesn't protect against other STDs. But as far as HIV is concerned, it's very important. It could be a very important drug for you to consider. I even hate saying drug because, our society is so
pill popping.
pharmaceuticalized, but it is a treatment that can protect you. And it's really important for people who are sexually active, whether they have partners, multiple partners, they're just out having it, and whatever it is, if that is something, they should look into it. It really can be a life-changing thing. For people in serodiscordant relationships, it's very important. So that's anybody watching that doesn't know the term. It's for somebody who's in a relationship with someone that does have HIV and that person does not, or vice versa. One person has HIV, the other does not. And so PrEP is a game changer. It really is. And so that's something that is at the center. We're looking, can community health has it? And it is something that is offered.
That's great. The other thing is that I live in Century Village in Boca. I never thought I'd live in a Century Village, but I do. And I know that the senior sector is very promiscuous. Seniors are very promiscuous. And I did a lot of speaking engagements to senior groups, telling them, there's an interview, in fact, that WPC did with me about that. The sexual behavior it's on my website, all this stuff. And that's the difference, is because the women, the kids are gone, and the husband left for her secretary, and the wife's lonely, and she feels like she can't go out to dinner or go to a movie by herself. And that's so pathetic. And therefore, she takes a cruise and she meets this really handsome man, and they have great sex for 2 weeks. And then she wonders why she has all these issues going on. And 6 months from now, and then the doctor says it's stress and it's her age. And well, tell that to the Bridge Club, Myrtle. You're HIV positive, So I say, do you see seniors coming in at all with this now?
So again, we're not that department. The departments that handle and work with people, we're like kind of the PR, the outdoor, the outreach department. But to answer your question, we have a large number of more mature individuals that are involved with the center because when they first were exposed to HIV or first learned that they were positive, they weren't older then. Right. But the fact that they're older now speaks a great deal to the advances that we've made in HIV research and treatment. We have we've had long-term survivor groups. We've had long-term survivors talk. And at the beginning of the pandemic, that was an unimaginable thing to have somebody, a long-term survivor of HIV, and we have it now. So yeah, we do have a more mature population. We have groups for them coming in for treatment. Once you have HIV, there is not a cure, so the treatments are lifelong. As far as new cases are concerned, that's a really interesting one. I don't know if I have any information on that. But you're absolutely right. My father used to say, my mother said this too, when I stop, I'll be dead when I stop looking, or when I stop looking. Human beings have, these behavior, the urge, the desire to connect with each other. And HIV is not going to just target young people. It's not going to just target that group over there. This is something that affects human beings of all ages, sizes, shapes, creeds, religions, beliefs, whatever it is. And so everybody, if you're sexually active, especially, just make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on and what you're doing. You got to protect yourself.
During every show, I like to also say that our country is so divided. Our country fits into little boxes. Everybody's got their opinions, their little boxes. And I think HIV could bring the world together. Like that song, We Are the World, We Are the Children, that came along in the 90s or whenever Michael Jackson started that whole thing. And I firmly believe that it's HIV's turn to unite the world and this country, because it is an equal opportunity. It's an equal opportunity virus.
It is truly non-discriminatory.
Non-political, non-religious, non-anything.
Doesn't care.
It doesn't care. If you let it in, it want to come in.
Yep.
It's just a stranger who's walking around saying, "Can I come in and eat with you?" No, not tonight, Toots. It's not going to happen. I mean, just in general, would you have people that would connect me with some other people in your Compass that could get more in depth with some of this?
Yeah, absolutely. And they can go, they'll go into the numbers and they'll have more experience with that kind of thing. Absolutely.
And the reason I don't get a lot with data and crunch now is because you can get that anywhere. I mean, anybody can sit there and Google something and get all you need from that. I like the personals like this. How'd you get involved, Lety? How'd you get involved, Michael? How are you both involved? I mean, I love the personals of the person, because some of them we've had long-term survivors on, but I like the personals to be able to relate. But if it is an organization, I'll probably might change the name, or I might not say anything in these books that I'm going to write. And I do write. Nothing has to be said that way. I want just this interaction that people feel it.
Yeah.
I want you to feel Compass through you.
And what you're talking about here is that's a key to it. The first question you asked us was about stigma, right? How do you reduce stigma? It's by having conversations with people. It's being real. It's being authentic. It's telling people. We have people in our orbit who are younger, who have tested positive, and you think that this could be something that is just so tragic. And I've seen them take it and change their lives in a better way. And I'm not that person that's going to say that this is a blessing or anything. And it's not my place. I am not positive. But I have heard stories from people that don't let this define them in a negative way. They take it, they understand, they go out and they help other people deal with this. And that's, that's what you're going to find at Compass.
And the other thing is suicide prevention. I'm involved with them. So I'm involved with a lot of organizations silently. Like Lety might be there right now. I'm the one that people still call when they get them to somewhere. But I'm a little widow who sits in this little condo who just waiting for the big Netflix series for the book, that type of thing, which will happen.
Remember us when, right?
Well, you remember me now.
I will.
You remember me now. But that's what I want. I wanted to know, have you had to counsel any kids with suicide or people who wanted to kill themselves when they found out they were diagnosed?
Personally, no. But we have the resources, we have the therapists, and we have we have referral people that we can refer people to. So not me personally, but I'm sure those conversations were most likely had with some of our staff.
Yeah, I think there probably are. They're not all fentanyl related. I do think that there are suicides being committed by a lot of younger people who find out that they are HIV positive, don't know where to go, don't know what to do, who to tell. They're younger, maybe 16, 17, and they're really confused about their sexuality. But you have psychologists or people that recommend that they can go to?
Yeah, we have 2 full-time staff psychologists, one for youth and one for people that are over 18. As Lety mentioned, we have something called the Mental Health Collaborative, which is a group of mental health professionals who we know how to talk to and help people in the LGBTQ community and people impacted by HIV. We do. mental health and physical health are so intertwined.
Mhm.
And in our society, I think, unfortunately, with the focus on physical
Yeah.
drugs and treatments and things, we focus so much on the body when something is wrong, and we've
Mhm.
ignored the mental aspect of it. And a healthy mental health outlook, having
Mhm.
that fortitude and that internal help and with others and professionals, it really does put you in a place where you can make the right decisions for your
Oh,
life to be a long,
absolutely.
healthy one.
I think that you have to have mental health first because it's up
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah,
And then you have to have spiritual health because that's in here.
yep,
And then the physical health, I think, will come, and the emotional health will come if you are healthier here and healthier here. I think that will affect your physical part.
yep.
So I think the mental and spiritual are extremely important for the physical and the emotional.
Well, when we talk about that, people are so quick to understand and accept that if you're feeling sick physically, you're going to be in a bad mood, right? It affects your mood. You're not as happy. You're not as jovial. You're down. You're done.
Sure.
But that understanding doesn't go that other way, that if you're mentally in a bad place, if you're mentally distressed, what that does to your physical body and how
Yeah.
that impacts you. And it's something that I think that we are getting to that place where we can understand more, because we're talking about HIV stigma. There's also stigma for people seeking mental health
Oh,
services.
definitely.
I'll be very personal right here. My mother is not a believer in that kind of therapy, and it is unbelievably frustrating because you see how much it could help. And it's, as somebody that goes to therapy, and I'm a huge proponent of therapy, it is just as important, if not more, than your medical doctors.
It definitely is. You can't really give a pill. Well, the other thing is if they give you a pill, then there's all these side effects that also say, I'm depressed. They're going to give you a pill. And next thing you know, you can commit suicide. One of the side effects is depression and suicide. Well, I'm coming to you because I'm depressed. Then I'm going to get a medication that's going to rearrange my brain that I'm going to be more depressed or want to kill myself. So I think there's so many reasons that we have to get a handle on mental health differently than just prescribing a drug.
And that's why places like Compass, and we're not the only one. Yes, in Palm Beach County, we're the only specific LGBTQ community center that offers HIV health services. We are, but we're not the only organization that helps people with HIV. But it is so important to us to have all of this under that one roof, so that people really can get that help that they need from every angle that you can think of with this. The doctors, the support, the social support, the mental health, the medicine, all of it. It all works together to help people live long, healthy lives.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So I would say that you are a full service facility.
We are.
So that's going to be what it is. And it will be your name. I don't know what I'll do with it. It's going to be months before I finish all these stories. But so it's a full service. I like the name of that, full service facility. That should be on someone's business card. I am a full service facility.
Lety, we'll have to look into that for our cards.
Yeah.
But I want you to connect me with some other people in the different parts of Compass.
Yeah.
Or one of the doctors or nurses, and they can get it to the medical end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can certainly set that up. We'll work with Ricardo to get that taken care of.
Yeah, they just have to click a link and it'll say or do it work with him. But this show is not going anywhere. In fact, this show is going to get bigger and greater and witness to more people because I said 40 years, there's never been a show like it. Go find something that's 40 years like this that we're telling people stories.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep doing it.
It's marvelous. I mean, I'm sorry. I miss my husband every day. I adored him and I still do. I still love him. But I know one thing, that it's his death that gave me the ability to be able to have the time and resources to stay in my ministry, which is help and healing and HIV.
And we hear stories like that all the time, Susan. That is one of the reasons why I love working at Compass so much, is because you see people share the same things that you just said. I mean, Lety, right? There's a lot of stuff that happens day in, day out, the attacks on the community, but on the daily, we have people walking through that front door whose lives are being changed for the better, and
Yep.
they change our lives for the better.
Oh yeah. And that's why if you don't love the work you're doing there, especially in a facility like that, if you're bringing your own shit in and you're doing your own crap and you go in there, you will never be effective. And that's why when I tried getting involved with Compass earlier on, there wasn't one part of that place that I could fit. Maybe it's because I wasn't there either, but I just couldn't. It was a decade or so ago, maybe 15, I don't know. But I couldn't fit in. They were so off. They were so messed up. I didn't feel any organization there. And I went to a few meetings, or I went to a few support groups and a few social functions because I wanted to tell my story and speak. I never had one call to tell my story. And my story is powerful. My story
We'll get you in. We will.
And you check out Committed to Love. My story is for everybody. It's about love. And we need a love story right now, but we need people like you who want to go to work in a place like Compass, because you're serving your community and you are helping people to live healthier lives.
It's rewarding. Lety, would you say, right?
It really is. It's what keeps me there.
It's rewarding, huh?
Yes.
So give me a little summation, because I know we're going to hear the music easily. And I've never put my glasses on during a show once, but because you said you like them, they've been on.
You're amazing. Are you kidding me?
Oh, and I have them in every color. I have them in every color with different rhinestones, and they're all different. In fact, some people have tuned in specifically and emailed me or texted me and said, what glasses and hats are you going to wear? So I was like, that's the shtick. I said, you got to have a gimmick today if you want to make it in show business. So that's the story. But if you had to sum it up, give me a few sentences, because I don't know when the music might play, and I really want to. So, Compass, we have your website. We have what is the address?
It's 201 North Dixie Highway in Lake Worth Beach, Florida, 33460.
And you are open for anybody in Palm Beach County. I suppose somebody's out of Palm Beach County. They still can come?
Look, yeah, we're not going to turn anybody away that needs our help.
For somebody in Pompano. Oh.
They can come. We're open Monday through Saturday.
Yep.
It's not disco, but it's on cue. So if somebody lives in Miami, but they really felt super comfortable with the people there, they can come.
Yes.
He's playing that extra long. I think he thinks we're hard of hearing because we're having such a big show. One day he's going to play Queen music for me.
To sum it up for you,
I think it's appropriate. Sum it up, Lety.
No, go ahead, Mike.
I'll just say one thing. Just listen. If you are in need of these services, if you need a test, if you think, please come to Compass. You don't have to set up an appointment. Just come in. You're going to be with people that are going to treat you with respect. You get your answers and you change your life.
I disappeared. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Oh my. All right. Lety, I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to say?
No, I disappeared. See, I was playing around with you all, and I disappeared. I knew that was it.
We see you. You're on. We can hear you. Your video's working.
Oh, I can't see all of you. I'm telling you, I'm this wonderful. I'm so glad I got this because I feel so good, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm so glad I have my tutor coming over Saturday morning. You can still see me?
Yes. And hear you.
Oh, wonderful. That's wonderful. So I just think this has been a great show. My first menage with these two wonderful people from Compass. And I pray that they continue to be blessed and do the incredible work they're doing and show the love and the support and the care for their community that they have given through this interview, and that they get the resources always that they need to be able to do the work that they do and bring all this wellness to people's lives. It's so marvelous that you're doing it. And I just wish we had more. I wish there were more funds. That's what I wish. I wish there were, that's what I wish. Let me put my glasses on. I can come right back on. I wish there were more resources, and that, that the government wasn't so stingy and doing what they're doing, because they really are hurting the people so much. They're not helping. They're hurting the people so much. And HIV, whether it's mental health or other health, it doesn't matter. It's just health. And our country is very unhealthy right now. And I think that that's just too bad. Here I am again. But see, there I am. And I can see me. Now I don't see you. Well, that's okay. We're okay. But I just think that our country is so very unwell right now, and that it would be wonderful if we could do more for what I say is our infrastructure. Our infrastructure to me is the people. And I think our people are being very, very mistaken care of at all, completely. And misdirected, not taken care of, not appreciated. And when they talk infrastructure, I think infrastructure is great to talk about. But I do think that if you're talking about infrastructure, I think you should be really talking about your community. And your communities are not healthy. And if your communities are not healthy, how are you going to do anything? So well, I reward.
Good. Sorry.
I just appreciate for what you're doing, because it's really wonderful, and more people need to do it, and more people will do it. And I'm going to come back into the studio in a moment. Hallelujah. I'm not going to be backstage anymore. See how we flow? That's what I say. See, now there's a little whatever.
No, that went really, it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us.
Likewise. Thank you.
I would just like to make sure that you hook me up with some more.